You know that feeling when you're outside and you almost feel like nature is trying to tell you something? Well, in Walt Whitman's incredible poem, The Voice of the Rain, it literally does. We're about to dive into the hidden story it tells, a story about this deep, almost secret connection between the world around us and our own creativity.
The whole poem just kicks off with this moment of pure curiosity. Our narrator, the poet, turns to this soft falling shower and just asks, "And who art thou?" And just like that, this one simple question cracks open the door to a truly magical conversation.
And then something absolutely incredible happens. The rain answers. In this stunning use of personification, it gives itself an identity. It's not just water, you see. It says, "I am the poem of earth." So what does that even mean? It means this isn't just a weather pattern, it's a creative force, a living piece of art born from the planet itself.
So this sets up the first big idea in the poem, this strange and really profound conversation. Let's unpack this amazing dialogue between a human poet and the personified voice of the rain.
You know, what I love is that the poet himself admits how wild this whole thing is. He calls it strange to tell, which is kind of like he's winking at us, acknowledging the fantasy of it all. It's his way of saying, hey, I know this is weird, but lean in. Listen to this secret I'm sharing.
So what we get is this really cool dynamic between two distinct voices. You've got the poet, who's our guide, right? He's the curious one, the listener who asks the question that gets the ball rolling. And then you have the rain, who steps up and takes center stage as the main speaker, revealing its own deep identity as the poem of earth.
All right, so the rain has our attention. Now it begins to tell its story. And the first part of that story is this incredible eternal journey upward, from the earth all the way up to the heavens.
The rain starts its explanation with this super powerful line, "Eternal I rise." Now that word, eternal, that's a huge exaggeration on purpose. It's what we call a hyperbole. It's used to really hammer home the idea that the cycle has no beginning and no end. It's always been happening, and it always will be.
And this is where it gets so cool, because this is where the poem's magic meets real science. The rain calls itself impalpable as it rises. And that is the perfect word to describe evaporation, right? That mysterious, invisible process where water turns into vapor, something you can't see, you can't touch. It's intangible.
So the rain basically breaks down this whole transformation for us. First, it rises invisibly from the land and sea. That's evaporation. Then it gathers, vaguely formed up in the sky, becoming clouds. That's condensation. And through it all, it becomes altogether changed, from liquid to vapor to a cloud. But its core essence, its soul, remains the same. It's such a beautiful metaphor for how we can go through huge changes in life, but still be fundamentally ourselves, you know?
Okay, so it's gone up, it's transformed in the sky, but the journey's not over, not even close. Now we get the second and super crucial half of the story, the life-giving return trip back down to Earth.
And right away, we know why it's coming back. The rain says, "I descend to lave the droughts." The word lave is just beautiful. It means to wash or to bathe. So its number one job is to bring relief, to be a healing wash for all the thirsty, cracked parts of the world. And it's not just about quenching thirst. It also purifies everything. It washes away the atomies, these tiny little particles, and all the layers of dust that cover the globe. I mean, think of it like a planet-wide cleansing shower. But this next part, this might be its most important job of all. The rain explains that without it, all the seeds in the earth would just stay latent, unborn. They'd just be hidden potential, waiting, asleep. The rain is the catalyst. It's the alarm clock that awakens all this dormant life and allows it to finally grow.
And this line just wraps it all up so perfectly, doesn't it? The rain is in a constant loop of giving back life to the very place it came from, the earth. It purifies and beautifies its own source, completing that physical cycle.
So we followed the rain's physical journey. But, you know, this is Walt Whitman, so there's always another layer. He's got this final, absolutely brilliant twist. He's about to connect this entire natural process to the very act of human creation itself. This is where we uncover the secret of the song. Okay, so pay close attention to the very end of the poem. The last two lines are set apart in parentheses. That's a huge clue. It's not a mistake, it's the poet's voice stepping back in, giving us a little aside, a parallel thought that's going to unlock the poem's entire deeper meaning.
And here it is, laid out for us. Look at this parallel. The rain rises from the earth, its origin.
In the exact same way, a song or a poem issues from its birthplace, the art and soul of the artist. The rain then wanders the sky as a cloud. The song? It wanders out into the world, whether anyone pays attention to it or not, wrecked or unwrecked. And then, the final beautiful connection. The rain returns to nourish the earth, and the song, after its journey, returns to the artist with love, bringing that sense of completion and fulfillment.
So how does he pull this off so beautifully? Well, Whitman masterfully uses a few key literary tools. He gives the rain a voice through personification, which lets it tell its own story. He uses metaphor to directly compare the rain to a poem and a song, making us see it not as just water, but as art. And he uses parallelism, structuring the two journeys, the rains and the songs, so they perfectly mirror each other, revealing their shared purpose. It's just brilliant.
Okay, so what is the big takeaway here? What is Whitman really trying to tell us about nature and maybe about ourselves? Well, it all comes down to this idea of nature's selfless echo.
The core message, the absolute heart of the poem, is that both rain and art are selfless. They don't exist for themselves. They're created, they go out into the world to do their work of nourishing and inspiring, and they complete their purpose by giving back and beautifying the very source they came from.
This final thought is it's so powerful. A creative work goes out into the world. Maybe it's heard by millions, or maybe by no one at all, wrecked or unwrecked, cared for or not. Whitman says it doesn't matter. The act of creating and sharing is its own reward, and that feeling of completion returns to the creator with love. It's about that private sense of fulfillment, of having put something good and true into the world.
So when you put it all together, the poem beautifully weaves these profound themes into one single idea. It's about the constant renewal we see in nature's cycle, which is powered by this deep selflessness. And that selfless cycle becomes a perfect mirror for the act of creativity itself, showing us the purpose and beauty we can find if we just stop and listen to the world around us.
Ultimately, Whitman brings this grand cosmic cycle of nature and art right back down into our own lives. He's not just talking about rain or poems, he's talking about us. So the question he leaves us with is this: what creation of yours has returned to enrich your world? What song, what idea, what simple act of kindness have you put out there that has completed its journey and returned to you, making your own world just a little more beautiful?